is Reconnect with Rockers.
Yeah.
I'm connecting with my brother, Leigh from Pop Evil. If I could come through the screen and give you a ginormous hug, I would. Your face, when you popped on, I mean, I don't know if you saw it. I got my PE shirt on, like I'm ready to go. My face lit up. I'm just so happy to see you, my friend. How are you? Are you in Michigan?
I'm in Michigan. I'm doing great. Everyone's safe and healthy, thank goodness. You know, and it's so exciting to see you too. I wish I was giving you a hug in person as well, but I'm excited that I'm here with you now. I'll take it. Right? It's better than what we've had most for the past couple months. So I'm glad you're doing safe and healthy out there in Jersey, and hopefully everyone listening is as well. And we'll get through this together.
We do Reconnect with Rockers because, you know, our friends in Jersey were like, TC, I feel like we're not connecting with our rock friends. We got to connect with our rock friends. I think people, and I know our listeners were kind of like bombing the Pop Evil Facebook page, like, Terry's doing Reconnect with Rockers. You should go on with her, because they want to see you. I had a couple of people today that are like, you're going to have Leigh on. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Everybody wants to be back with the artists that they love and they connect with. So I want to talk about a new record, and I want to find out, were you guys still recording this new record when the pandemic sort of changed everybody's world, or was it done by then?
No, we were still doing it. We were still doing it when that happened. And we were going to be locked. I mean, I'm in LA a lot, but the mayor said, look, we're going to let down the city. As soon as I heard that was out, we were going to be quarantined. I wanted to be closer to friends and family so I could make sure they were all safe and healthy, and you know, got out of there, and who would have known then that we'd still be locked down now. So it's just been a kind of a one day at a time type process for us. And now, of course, we're getting hungry to play more music, and now we're really missing. It's one thing to get a month or two off. It's another thing to think about maybe longer or a year off. I mean, that's tough pill to swallow for a lot of us musicians.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everybody's feeling it. We're feeling it too. We're feeling it, you know, being in the trenches with you guys for sure. So the first song, we got a couple tunes last week. The first tune we got was Work, which really seems to translate with our listeners. Let me tell you, I think it has, I mean, yeah, Work, everybody's feeling that real sort of stressful feeling right now, but I think it has a deeper meaning. I hear this heaviness, this anger, almost like a message of repetition, if you will, where people still are feeling like they just are getting through the struggle. Talk to me a little bit about that tune, and why was that tune right to release right now?
Yeah, I mean, I was in a mental rut when I wrote that particular song. I felt like I was always blowing off my loved ones. It seems like every time they were calling me, I was like, look, I'm busy. I got to work. I'll text you. Text me. So it seemed like, you know, when I really started to write the album, when I started to get these messages, I was like, look, man, I got to make time for these people that are important in my life, or this is going to just blow by me. And, you know, this business for artists, it's like one album, the next single, the next tour. And next thing you know, 10 years have gone by. So it's like, wow, it's a little bit scary. So with Work, it was like, look, it seemed like all the relationships I had were with people on my phone. I was like, this is ridiculous. I got to make time for people, especially people that I love. And ironically, now this pandemic hits and we're able to do that. So it just felt like this was the time to remind people that, look, even though we are, most of us want to get back to work in some ways, we're still working life's work, right? Whether we're parents, whether we're students, whether we're siblings, you know, it's important to just get back, relax, take a deep breath. Let's remember what's important here, and really focus on the things that matter with work, you know. And of course, when we do get back to working a little more normal than we're used to, we can think about those things that we took for granted when, you know, before the pandemic.
And working to kind of just keep every day going. It feels like almost every day we're in the trenches, you know, just to keep going, to keep positive, to keep everybody focused on the things that are important, family, staying healthy, and figuring out where we go from here. You know, every day's been a challenge, you know, a little bit of a challenge. So I was also reading, you guys worked with multiple producers on this record. That not only is brave, but it's very revolutionary. Artists don't usually like to do that. It's not something we hear often. Why did you decide to do that?
Well, I'm a different breed as far as a frontman and writer. You know, I'm always like to go where the energy is. And I feel like, you know, I mean, we do it anyways, right? If you think about this, our 6th album, if you look at the Pop Evil older catalog, it's all different producers anyways. So if you want to listen to us on maybe a playlist, or even if they're listened to on the songs that you play there at the station, they're different albums, they're different eras, right? Different producers. So I thought, wouldn't it be great to just get the energy. Because sometimes when you write, and the band doesn't really write lyrics, you know, they do a great job with music and bringing things to the table musically. But, you know, when you have 5 albums out, you need to be creative to not write similar things. You know, we're always thinking as a band collectively about our live show and how we can make it better. You know, what's missing, what things from our show can we bring to the audience to give them a better experience live? Because you know as well as I do, there's nothing better than rock bands, but the one thing better is the live shows with your favorite rock bands. That's when you really like merge that love connection with the bands we all grow up with, you know, and we really try to be aware of that, you know, now in our career, as our career continues, that we want to make that connection, you know, and not everyone gets to see us one-on-one, but they can have that moment with us on stage where they're like, wow, you know. And I think any bands that have that relation between life, those ebbs and flows that are more relatable to life, right? You come to a Pop Evil show, you can be in tears, you can be, you know, hugging your neighbor, so to speak, or it can also be in the mosh pit, high five, horns to the sky. So my favorite bands growing up were those bands that gave me all those elements, you know. I mean, and again, there's nothing wrong with any band. You're obviously, it's your right to be able to spread your message the way you want to. I just think for Pop Evil, and you know, vocally, I'm a guy that can sing and bring melody. Obviously, I've had to, you know, bring the screams and the heavier elements as the bands progress. But, you know, at the time, radio's gotten heavier. You know, I mean, you think in the early days, bands like Five Finger Death Punch wouldn't have been played. I mean, thank God they are. You know, there's an element of metal now in rock that I think is needed, and you know, both genres take from each other. You know, a lot of metal artists take from rock. I mean, and a lot of rock artists take from metal. So it's awesome to create more opportunities with other genres, and I think that, you know, being able to write with multiple producers gives you a different excitement that when you record that we didn't have in the past. I mean, when you make a creative idea and then you have to go re-record it, it's lost. You know, I mean, sometimes there's that magic when, you know, I just got off the plane ride, I'm jet lagged, and I pull into my boys' houses with their studios, and they put me in the booth. That energy is so real, it's raw, that when I go have to recut a vocal, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Fans want to see what we had for breakfast. They definitely want to hear the first take, right? They want to see us just be real, you know. And absolutely. I think that you definitely get that on these 2 songs that, again, you know, we're probably one of the only bands that give you that extreme yin and yang. You know, we go with the song like Work, and then we flip it on the total end of the spectrum and go with the song like Let the Chaos Reign, which is probably our heaviest to date, you know. And
you know
we're
what
always
I love
trying
about
to think
that
about
tune,
our fans.
What I love about that tune, and I also hear it in Work too, it's heavy, but there's this funkiness to it. Like these are rhythmic kind of songs. I'm hearing them as like rhythmic, where there's like that chugging rhythmic feel to it. And I mean, I might be wrong, but that's how I heard them both. And I said, wow, there's almost like a funky element to these 2 tunes that really knocks me out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. I mean, there has to be an element of dance to the music now, and I don't mean like choreography dance. Like we think about, I call it rocker dancing, where you get in the pit and your fist does the dancing for you. You know, like you have to be able to have that. I think when people come to shows, that's who we're thinking about when we write. We don't want people just stand there. You know what I mean? And when you can give that kind of a groove or that kind of a danceable element, it makes it even more fun for the listener when they come. They don't even realize they're doing it. And it can be all ages, right? You can have the children that come, and you can have the grandparents that show up at shows, and they're moving, their hands are up, you know. So those are the elements I think are important, and you're going to get a lot of that on this album for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I can feel it. I'm so looking forward to hearing it. So you have a guitar. I'm gonna step away, you know, move back a little bit and let you play. This is so awesome because you're connecting with the fans, and you have been for a while, and making sure that people, you know, just get a taste of the music, man, and feel connected to the music.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this because I don't get to play the guitar a lot. I got 2 great guitar players in my band, so whenever I get the chance, I'm just like, let them play. It'll be fine. I'll just sing. So it's been refreshing to get back home and jam a little bit more. I've actually had a passion to get back on the guitar. Normally it's in between tours, so the last thing you want to do is think music. You just want to energize your body, rest your voice, and then you're on to the next tour. So it's been kind of different for me, but it's been much needed. And these versions that I play are basically my versions that I play with friends and family. You would never hear these. So I'm so excited that it's an opportunity to hear. I call them like my campfire sessions, you know, and they're built around my vocal, and it's a chance when because again, we grew up in in Michigan, which is around the Great Lakes. So we were always at bonfires, and we were always on the lakes with an acoustic guitar, and people were always jamming. So these are kind of really cool versions. I'm going to do an old school song for you that's really cool. It's called The Ghost of Muskegon. And I grew up in a city called Muskegon, Michigan. And it's an awesome ode to a song for us to remind about thinking about where we come from and doing our part, especially now as the world starts to reopen, to just be safe. Obviously, I know we're all stir crazy and we're all ready to get back to some kind of normalcy. But as I play this, just think about doing it safely and taking care of the people around you, especially your loved ones. So this is The Ghost of Muskegon. Days feeling hollow against my will, they run into each other, and lies I follow. Invisible now, but the ground tells a story. This land, there I'll ramble, keep going on and on and on and on. I'm just a ghost starting to show. I've been on the wrong side searching for love, but I've been wrong about everything. I made more waves in the ocean, but nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, they don't know, they don't know. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, they don't know, they don't. Lost, still I'm searching. I seek for the truth that will keep me together. I tread through the ether. I'm never gone, gone now. I'm just a ghost starting to show. Been on the wrong side searching for love. Could I be wrong about everything? I made more waves in the ocean, but nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, they don't know, they don't know. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, they don't know, they don't know. Take me up, bring me back down. Let me breathe before I drown. I'm in too deep over my head. Am I alive or am I dead? I'm just a ghost. Well, I'm just a ghost, and nobody knows. I'm just a ghost starting to show. I've been on the wrong side searching for love. Could I be wrong about everything? I made more waves in the ocean, but nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, they don't know, they don't know. Nobody knows, nobody knows, nobody knows, they don't know, they don't know. There you go.
I feel like I'm sitting around your fire, around a campfire with you, around your fireplace at your house. Just amazing.
That's how it should be, you know, and I think that's so cool. They can really get connected, at least with the Pop Evil experience and that. It's been really special, this quarantine situation to just kind of have those intimate moments. So that's cool to hear.
You guys were doing too, an acoustic tour. I mean, we were so lucky that we had you at the Raven Room. 4 tunes turned into 2.5 hours on Super Bowl Sunday. Everybody got their selfie with the band, and everybody got an acoustic Pop Evil concert. It was funny too, because when you guys announced, oh, we're going to go out on the road and we're going to do a whole acoustic, a lot of listeners were saying, I think we inspired them because they did a whole show for us that day.
Absolutely.
And, you know, seeing how well, I always say great song is a great song is a great song, and how well those songs translated. The power in songs like Footsteps and Trenches were still there for people. You were, you know, up on the stools and everything. And then, you know, the quieter songs, you could hear a pin drop. I mean, it was just really quite a magical day for everybody. So you guys have lent yourselves to really being a band of the fans. I mean, people feel that connection with you. We don't get it with everyone. You know, we don't get it with every band, but they have that with Pop Evil.
Yeah, and again, it's a people business, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we're all good musicians, the people you play on that station, but it's the connection that you make individually is up to you, you know. And I think for us personally, a lot of these songs started with me and a guitar and a voice, you know, and of course they evolve. They turn out from some intimate campfire relaxed version to these, you know, heavy powerhouse anthems for us live, you know, and they take on this steroid like weight room moment, you know, and but you're right, you know, and I think for us, again, growing up in the Midwest, it's very blue collar, very similar to Jersey, you know, that like we still buy records, right? We like to get the album, we like to smell it before we open it, read all the wordage in these albums, and it shows that people really truly love those little things. And of course, there's nothing more little and more intimate than an acoustic performance. And again, when we do these VIP experiences, that is the number one thing we hear. Are you going to play acoustic? Is there going to be an acoustic album? Like, can we get any more of these acoustic things? And it's been awesome to see it come to fruition. And hopefully we continue to grow this acoustic Pop Evil machine, and maybe an album one day too. That'd be great. So it's something that I know that I want to do, and I'm sure the band would love to do as well. And we'll see.
I never saw a band have so much energy on a few hours sleep. You guys had played the Starland the night before, drove in. Haley's, like, her hands were bleeding because, you know, she was just playing, and then she was like, nah, I can keep going. I can keep going. I can keep going. And I was just like, I just couldn't believe it. I was mystified. I was standing there like, I got nothing. I couldn't believe it. You guys just had such an amazing energy. People still talk about it to this day. You set the bar, not high, but unstand underable for any other bands, you know, when we've done these performances. I mean, it's just been absolutely incredible. Talk to me too, because a lot of bands are feeling the crew pain, man. Your crew is your family. They're on the road with you. They're your on the road team. They are the unsung heroes. Talk to me a little bit about the Pop Evil crew and what you guys want to do to help out these crew members that are right now sidelined for an indefinite period of time and looking to know where the next gig is going to come from for them.
Yeah, it's scary, you know, and a lot of them, and especially when we were getting ready to do a new album, it's on the horizon. Some of these crew members, it's their first time doing an album cycle with us, so I know they were extremely excited. It's rough because they wait. And again, they've been waiting for months for us to get back to work because we've been off the road and recording an album. And that's always not a fun time because they're sitting and trying to work whatever they're doing, whether they're taking side gigs, you know, with other bands for a minute, or they're working Uber things, you know, that they're trying to, or working at a bar quick to bust tables or whatever they have to do just till we get back on the road. Finally, now we're ready to go now this pandemic. So we put out some t-shirts that are on our popevil.com that you can, again, I know money's tight for everyone, so we understand, but if you can spare it, or if you feel like helping in any way, buying those crew shirts go out 100% to our crew. And I know they're grateful for anything that they can get because they're trying hard to just stay positive and to be ready for when we do come back, hopefully sooner than later. And then we won't have to wait for them or we won't lose them in any sort of way and slow them down. So fans so far have been supporting. They've been phenomenal about it. We got other shirts and everything we're going to try to do on the .com as well to any way you can help the band. Those are ways to do it. So we're trying to think of other cool things we can put up on the store too. If you are going to contribute and be able to spend your money on anything, we want it to be rare and exclusive and something cool for you to get that you normally wouldn't. So we show our love and appreciation as well to our fans. And again, like money bands out there, we're just trying to think of ways to not only entertain, but to help not only just our fans, but our internal crew as well, to just let them know, most importantly, that they're appreciated. And I think that can go a long way as well as just money, any money contribution, to just know that they're loved and to know that we haven't abandoned them during this tough time. And they mean the world to us, man. Those people behind the scenes allow us to be rock stars. That's the true reality of it.
Absolutely. And I think it's awesome and it's so wonderful. Everybody's a family that travels together, you know, in a rock situation. And I've said that. I mean, we're all on lockdown. You want to treat yourself to something cool, get yourself a nice piece of merch, something cool, and have it go for a really good cause. I think it's important. You know, I think we have to figure out ways to live through this and to still have the things that we like and that make us feel connected to our favorite rock bands and everything. I mean, vitally important for all of us. So when is the new record coming out? Do we know for sure?
Well, we got a little bit of we're close. You know, we had the meat and potatoes, so to speak, are done. We got to do the icing and the cake, and we got booted out of LA quick. So, you know, it was a bit of a sidetrack, but I think again, I'm Michigan, so we are one of the last states probably going to start reopening. So we'll see though as things start to, you know, be a little more mobile for me personally, and we can get this dialed in. But we just feel very blessed that we were able to get the 2 out that we did, you know, and just show the fans that, look, we're fighting for them. And during this tough time, we wanted to give them fresh, new Pop Evil musical motivation. And again, just show them that, you know, that duality of Pop Evil, that they didn't just get one, they get 2. You know, they understand that we are that yin and yang. You know, if you don't like one song, maybe you like this. If you like both, great. You know, it's just the cool thing I think the fans need to understand from musicians now is you need to not just blame radio or TV for any kind of success, right? And I'm sure you've heard it working in radio forever. Oh, I didn't play this or that. Look, radio's got a job to do too. And the number one thing that radio fans need to understand is community, right? And I think that they don't always realize that just how hard you guys work, not just playing music, but just making sure people are informed about what's going on locally. Again, we are radio bands, so very passionate about radio and the people behind it, like yourself. So they need to understand it is band's job to create more opportunities to bring new faces to our band. We don't rely on anybody. So if we can bring in some new fans with other experimental tracks that we do, or by blending different genres, guess what? That's awesome when they actually come now, because, and again, my pet peeve was always those fans will come in, they'll be like, oh, I don't like this kind of music, but I love your band. And I'm sure you've heard that well before. And I'm like, well, what is that? There's plenty of other great bands like us. You got to come. That means you like rock, right? So maybe if you come to our show and they actually experience our fans, especially our Jersey fans, they're going to change their minds real quick. And again, fans need to understand is other genres fans are maybe here today, gone tomorrow, but a rock metal fan is there for your career. So again, you know, we try to take pride in doing things ourselves, trying to control our own destiny by writing songs that don't sound like our other songs. You know, if you want to hear Trenches and 155 and some of these hits that we have, well, guess what? We already have them in our live show. We want to give you other songs to go with those songs, to complement those songs, to give you the best live experience that you can get when it comes to Pop Evil live shows. So again, you know, our fans really respect that. And we try to just, again, push the boundaries always, but still giving you things that you obviously expect and want to hear from Pop Evil. And, you know, that makes it exciting for us as musicians and fans in our band to just not stay in one place.
Yeah. I never thought of you guys as the band that made the same record twice. I always thought of
that's
you guys.
For sure. Right on.
Never,
but you know,
never.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, there's a signature Pop Evil sound, which comes from a guitar sound or a vocal sound, but you've never made the same record twice for me. There's always been such a difference, you know, for every record that you guys have ever made. So, you know, that's Pop Evil to me.
Well, I appreciate that, you know, and I can't wait for you to hear. I think this next chapter, we call it the statement album for us, because the 5, now we got that landmark number 5 out of the way. Now it is a new beginning officially. It is, and it's a big record for us. You know, I know that we're really excited. These 2 songs already are hitting harder than anything in our catalog. And I can't wait to, it's going to be a new element, right? Like by the time we get back to playing, these songs hopefully will be already familiar with the fan bases out there in the East Coast, and they'll be singing them probably louder than me, because we're all going to be like caged animals ready to finally get live shows. We can't wait. We'll be screaming loud and singing loud. It's going to be, I think, exhilarating. And in some instances, it's probably going to be again, grateful for the things that we took for granted. You know, I think that I'm hoping that we'll get a lot more people that love the music, that love the station, that maybe are just busy in life and they haven't come out. They'll be like, I'll get it next time. And then it turns into a next time. That I think now with the things we've all taken for granted, hopefully we'll get that extra surge of people that are like, no, it's time. I'm going out to this show, and or I'm coming to see Pop People at Starland Ballroom, and we're going to throw down. So it's going to be hopefully great. And we're going to need fans to do that, right? We're going to need venues to get a little bit of extra support, promoters, booking agents, and of course the bands and the radio stations to really kind of get rejuvenated so we can go do the diligence and the behind the scene work to bring more great shows more frequent once this thing is behind us for our fans and our local community. So again, I love you for doing your part always. There's nobody more passionate about it than you. And I'm going to just try to follow your lead on Behind Your Coattails, Terry. And when you need me, I'm there for you always.
I love you. You know that. I always say
I love you back.
to the station, we just absolutely love you. So wait, before I let you go, could I get one more?
Yeah, of course.
One more?
Let's do it. Let's do
for the fans? For our
yep.
fans?
Let's get a little motivational song. Again, a fan favorite, and it's a very cool version. I get a lot of it's really cool to hear you play heavy songs acoustic. So we'll do Waking Lions and motivate everyone to stand up. Don't be afraid as you get out of there. I know that we're all struggling in our own ways. So again, do what you got to do, but just do it safe. And Jersey, we love you. And I can't wait to be back and give everyone a hug. It's still handshakes and hugs for me. So if I'm going to pass on, I'm going to pass on with a lot of hugs. So it is what it is. So here's Waking Lions. So. Is it better? Tell me there's a better one. I'm not afraid. I'm not gonna hide from the vultures above, up and below. They wanna lay me to rest. Is it better to die than live another day? I'm not afraid. I'm not gonna run from the scars held within, burning the sky. They wanna lay me to rest. You gonna sing it back at home? I'm with you. I'm gonna listen. I wanna stand up 100 feet tall. Your speed will never lead my way. I'm ready to run 100 miles strong. I will never be the same. Waking the lion in me. I'm waking the lions in me. I'm waking the lion in me. Oh, yeah. Beneath the ocean, dying till I rise again. I'm not afraid. I'm not gonna stop till I break down this gate. Escape from these chains. You never silence my voice. I wanna stand up 100 feet tall. 'Cause speed will never lead my way. I'm ready to run 100 miles strong. I will never be the same. Waking the lion in me. I'm waking the lions in me. I'm waking the lions in me. Oh, yeah, way too long. I slept inside the dark, but now, right, it's time to make a mark. I'm waking the lions in me. I'm waking the lions in me. I'm waking the lions in me. One more time, Jersey, come on. 100 feet tall. 'Cause we will never lead my way. I'm ready to run 100 miles strong. I will never be the same. I'm waking the lions in me. I'm waking the lions in me. I'm waking the lions in me. Oh, in me. Be safe, Jersey. Woo!
My friend, I love you. Thank you so much for doing this for us in New Jersey. I cannot thank you enough for being on Reconnect with Rockers. Cannot wait for the new record in full. Leigh, thank you so very much. And stay safe, stay strong.
My pleasure. I'll be praying for everyone over there your way, that you guys are safe and you guys reopen and this goes away here sooner than later. So I absolutely love you, Terry. Thank you for having me on. And all I do is work. Let's get it. Let's get it, Jersey. Come on, request it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Leigh, thank you so much. Love you. Mwah.
Love you back. Thank you so much.
DHA's Reconnect with Rockers is powered by Advantage Contracting and by Karis Lock Company.